Mavs fans, what's going on? Welcome into NBA Now from Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, and today I'm going to break down some Dallas Mavericks news and some Dallas Mavericks rumors. Let's get this one started off with a little bit of rumors around Mavs Nation. Chris Paul. Look, we've talked about him before going to the Dallas Mavericks, but something has surfaced once again, and this is coming from Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report wrote an article breaking down the top trade target for every single team, or at least who the top trade target should be. So this was just an opinion piece, and their opinion was that the Dallas Mavericks need to go after Oklahoma City Thunder point guard Chris Paul. Now, look, CP3 is the third highest paid player in the NBA this year. He's going to be making nearly $39 million. This is for a guy who's played 52 games the past 2 years because he can't stay healthy. He's under contract through 2021, 2022. The Thunder only took him on because they knew they had to get rid of Westbrook. They knew they had to bring on some more draft picks. That's what bringing on Chris Paul did. Look, the Mavs aren't going to be looking to trade for him. There is no reason they should be. But let's get into his stat line real quick for this year with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's been averaging 13.3 points per game, 3.3 assists, and 4 boards. So not really that bad of numbers. The assist numbers aren't that high. I think the Thunder are trying to run their offense a little bit more through Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as they should be. But the number that is impressive still for CP3 is the 50% from 3. Now, it's only through 4 games, but he's still shooting like 5 times per game and making nearly half of them every single night. So he's having a good shooting year so far, but we are so early into the season that I don't even know if we can trust this 3-point percentage that we've seen from Chris Paul so far. Now, I came up with a little bit of a trade that made the money work, but I don't think either team say yes in this scenario. Dallas, they take on Chris Paul. The Thunder get Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., and then I threw in Isaiah Roby, who was the Dallas Mavericks second-round pick. He's a young piece, but in all reality, I don't think that moves the needle for the Thunder because, look, they still take on Courtney Lee's contract, which you only have to pay him through this year because then he's a free agent. Tim Hardaway Jr. has a player option for next year, so he's probably on your books for 2 more seasons. And is Isaiah Roby really enough to go trade Chris Paul? And then you don't get any draft picks back if you're the Thunder. And then on the Mavs side, you're getting in a point guard who is a ball-dominant guy. He's older. He's owed a lot of money, and really, I don't see the fit for him on this team. The Mavs have guys like Jalen Brunson, DeLon Wright, who have been playing incredible. Do they really want to sacrifice that for Chris Paul? Now, look, on the floor, on paper, it looks pretty solid. You go with a starting 5 of CP3, DeLon Wright, Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, and Dwight Powell. Chris Paul is a good defensive point guard still, despite him being a little bit older, but I don't like him in this team. DeLon Wright's a good 2-guard to defend players. I'd rather have DeLon at the point, guarding point guards, or even Jalen Brunson in there because they can grow with this team. Chris Paul does not have the age to grow with this team. It does not make a lot of sense. I'm out on this idea from Bleacher Report, but maybe you disagree. Should the Mavs make a move for CP3? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you haven't learned already, I would be typing my N for no. I'm just out on Chris Paul as a whole. I don't think he's really made to last with his durability. I think on the right team he could make some sense, like a Miami, but Dallas is not that team. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, Mavs fans, before you watch the next game as the Mavericks take on the Los Angeles Lakers, I need to tell you guys about My TV Choice. Here's what you got to do. Go to chatsports.com/mytv, download that My TV Choice app. Then you sync the app up with your smart TV, and instead of commercial breaks, you get to watch great Chat Sports videos, and then My TV Choice is going to get you right back to your live sporting event. Hopefully you're watching Dallas Maverick games. You don't want to watch the commercials. Chatsports.com/mytv. Go download that My TV Choice app today. I promise you, now that the NBA season is here, you will not regret having that My TV Choice app. Now let's get into a piece of news. Dwight Powell has returned to the Dallas Mavericks lineup. He has, of course, missed the first 3 games of the season with a tweaked hamstring. Maxi Kleber started in his place, really did a great job defensively, looked even pretty strong around the rim. His 3-point shot left a little bit to be desired, Maxi Kleber's that is, but he did a good job filling in. Now, Dwight Powell returned and played against the Denver Nuggets. He didn't play that much because Rick Carlisle said that they're going to have him on a minutes restriction while he recovers from this tweaked hamstring. But you can see the numbers he put up in Denver. I mean, in the limited time he got, it wasn't bad. 4 points, 4 rebounds. He had a turnover and 3 fouls. Now, the foul trouble was a little concerning considering he only played 14 minutes. But also 2 of those points came from free throws. The other 2 points came from an alley-oop in classic Dwight Powell fashion. That is what he brings to this team. is the ability to catch lobs and attack the rim, because Kristaps is that pick and pop kind of guy. Dwight Powell, pick and roll kind of guy. Now, last season, the Mavs loved him on the floor. He was having career highs after the All-Star break. 10.6 points per game, 5.3 rebounds, nearly 60% from the field, and 31% from three. Now, that jumped up a little bit near the back half of the season. Hopefully, he can prove to be a consistent three-point shooter going into this season. Now, look, the Mavs have big man depth. I don't think there's any question about that. Now we've got Kristaps Porzingis on board. That's 22.3 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 3 assists so far this season. Now we get Dwight Powell back, and Dwight Powell is playing next to Porzingis down low, 10.6 points per game, 5.3 boards, 1.5 assists. Maxi Kleber has been having a tremendous year so far. I know we're only 4 games into it, but 9 points and 8 boards. He's also swatting shots left and right. He's looking like the great defensive big man that we know Maxi Kleber as. And then Boban has not played this year, has not made his regular season debut, which I was a little bit surprised about. I thought he would play a little bit in that Denver game. But last season, when he was playing, 7.3 points and 4.6 rebounds. That is 4 quality big men. And really, you can mix and match all these guys. Dwight Powell and Porzingis can play together. Maxi and Porzingis can play together. Heck, Porzingis and Boban can play together. We saw that in preseason. Maxi and Powell work really well together. I think the only duo you really wouldn't see out there that often is Powell and Boban, because Rick loves to play Dwight at the 5. Boban cannot play the 4. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But I need to ask you guys, who should be the starting center for the Dallas Mavericks now that they're all healthy? You know, Porzingis is the starting power forward. We're going to go ahead and assume that and lock that in. Who should be the starting 5? Dwight Powell or Maxi Kleber? Type D for Dwight Powell, type M for Maxi Kleber. Again, Maxi showed a lot of promise in that time that he got extended minutes as a center, as the starting center. Now Dwight Powell's back. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. As you do that, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetDSI. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to chatsports.com/bet, B-E-T, and then use promo code NBA120. BetDSI is hooking you guys up with a 120% deposit bonus when you put some money down on your first game. If it's a Dallas Maverick game, great. I would do that. I'd be putting money down on the Dallas Mavericks all year long. You know, they're not going 82-0 because they did lose one game, but hey, 81-1 is still a possibility for this Dallas Maverick team. If you want to make some money by watching these Mavs games and betting with the Mavs, BetDSI, chatsports.com/BET. Now let's get into the Dallas bench, because the other night when they played the Denver Nuggets, this bench looked absolutely legit. Tim Hardaway Jr., that's 14 points and 3 boards that night. Maxi Kleber, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks. He was coming off the bench behind Dwight Powell. DeLon Wright had 12 points, 6 assists, and 3 boards. Brunson, 11 points and 8 assists and 4 boards. And Justin Jackson had 10 points. Look, these 5 guys coming off the bench every single night is absolutely incredible. I mean, you go Brunson and DeLon Wright in the backcourt, and then Tim Hardaway Jr. is playing your 3 with, you know, Maxi Kleber probably playing the 5, Justin Jackson maybe a little small ball 4, whatever it may be. These 5 guys are going to come in right away and make an impact on the defensive end and make an impact on the offensive end. I love what I saw from them in Denver, and I hope that this carries on into the full season, because one of the biggest question marks with this team was always, who is going to be that third guy? Well, now it's starting to look like we don't need a third guy. The Dallas Mavericks don't need a third guy. They have a conglomerate of third pieces in the bench unit and the backups. Now, another guy that I do want to point out who didn't come off the bench against Denver was Seth Curry. Now, he started. That was his first game to start, but when you need an offensive punch, you can bring this guy in off the bench. You can start him at the point. You can start him at the 2, and he has been really, really solid in extended minutes for this Dallas Maverick team when he's playing above guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee, which he should always play above both of those guys. And on the defensive end, Seth Curry has looked like a legitimate guard stopper. I mean, a really, really good defensive player that when you hear that Curry last name, it does not always click as defense. So far this year, he's been putting up 9.8 points per game, 1.5 assists, 1 steal, and shooting 41% from 3. That is one thing we know all the Currys know how to do, is shoot the 3 ball, and he's been doing it well this year. Now, one more guy I want to talk about here that did not come off the bench in Denver, but has been coming off the bench in some other games this year, is Dorian Finney-Smith. Now, He's only started 2 games for the Mavs so far, but I think he could start a lot more because defensively, he's looked incredible. He can guard point guards. He can guard shooting guards. He can guard small forwards and power forwards. He has played every position virtually on the floor for the Mavs outside of running the point, really, but he's defended every position on the floor so far. As a wing, he has showed versatility. He has showed defensive ability. He has showed offensive rebounding. I am not kidding. I am not exaggerating when I say Dorian Finney-Smith is becoming one of the best offensive rebounders in the game so far. I have loved what I've seen from him. I think he's been one of the most impressive Mavs outside of Luka and Porzingis because of what he's done on the defensive end and on the glass. Now, points per game so far, 8.8. He's been averaging 6 rebounds. 2.5 of those have been offensive boards. And he's only shooting 33% from 3 right now. Look, one thing about Dorian Finney-Smith that we've said since he was a rookie is that once that 3 ball comes around, he's an automatic starter. 33% is not enough to make him an automatic starter, but it has looked better this year. The shot as a whole has looked smoother. He's looked more confident in it. Again, I cannot stress to you enough how much Dorian Finney-Smith means to this team and what he's been doing so far this year on both the offensive and defensive end. Look, I love this bench. I think it is incredible. I think it is going to help this Maverick team push into the playoffs this year in the Western Conference. But who is the Dallas Mavericks' best bench player? Is it Tim Hardaway Jr.? Is it Jalen Brunson? Maybe it's DeLon Wright. Now, it's a little confusing because we don't really know who the starters and the bench players are for sure, but maybe you can go ahead and give me a guess. Who is the Dallas Mavericks' best bench player? Put it down in the comment section below.